Now I've got a quick question. Have you ever taken a really long time to put an outfit together because you aren't sure what shoes you want to wear with the fit? I personally go through that a little too much, so I started thinking about it. What are some sneakers that look good with just about anything? So that's exactly what I'll be talking about today. Ski! Welcome back to the channel, Sonny Squad. If you're new, welcome to the channel. How y'all doing? I'm Sonny and this is Sonny Kicks. To start things off, I want to cover some timeless sneakers that have always been relevant ever since they released. And to kick things off, I want to talk about the Chuck Taylor All-Stars. By the way, I'm being super unbiased with this entire video. Depending on what your style is, the Chuck Taylor All-Star is a perfect sneaker to go with. It's like a blank canvas. The way it's structured, how it feels, so much so that this sneaker has been relevant ever since 1922. Yes, you heard me correctly. This shoe has been relevant since 1922, but it didn't always look like this. Back in 1917 is when they actually released and this is what they looked like. But a basketball player and a basketball shoe salesman slash product maker named Charles Hollis Taylor came along and had a few suggestions that he brought up with Converse, which was to create a better shoe with more flexibility and support. And this is how we got the Chuck Taylor that we all know and love today. NBA legends such as Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell used to play in these, and on the court wasn't the only recognition that the shoes got. They also became super common in regular everyday life. Like I said earlier, the shoe is very easy on the eyes. If you've never worn a Chuck Taylor before, they're pretty easy to style. It just comes down to your personal preference of what do you like to wear on your feet and how you wear certain things. When it comes to Chuck Taylors, you have a high and a low version, but because it is 2023, you have so many other different options to choose from. The shoe is so iconic that it's had multiple collabs. Even high fashion brands have been paying attention to the shoe and they made their own version of it. And probably the best part about the shoe, which is what made its reign so long in just common everyday life, is how affordable and accessible they are. Now, I personally don't wear Chuck Taylors because that's not my style anymore, but I did used to back in like middle school. As I got older and started trying out a lot of different shoes, I didn't like those as much because they don't feel comfortable on my foot. It's fascinating how this is such a simple design yet became extremely relevant and popular and just straight up iconic due to how wearable, accessible, and affordable they are. So I just talked about a shoe that was very accessible and affordable. Now we're gonna kind of switch gears a little bit. This shoe was completely just earth-shattering, breaking down barriers. The first of many from the GOAT himself, Ian Tinker Hatfield. We got the Air Jordan 11s. And there are three versions of this sneaker. You have the regular high, low, and IE. I want to make it very clear that I'm talking about the highs for right now, just the highs. So for anybody who doesn't understand the pandemonium behind the shoe, for one, it's the first ever basketball sneaker to include patent leather on it, and not only that, but scarcity. The Air Jordan 11 basically drops one time a year, and to my knowledge, it's always in December, giving it the name Holiday 11. This shoe right here was an absolute game changer for many different reasons. One of them is because when it comes to wearability, you can wear this shoe with anything. You got people wearing Jordan 11s in their wedding, at red carpet events, any kind of ball or just a very elegant event. You got people wearing Jordan 11s there. Not to mention, you can also wear these at your graduation and they look great, which is something I definitely did when I graduated high school. Now, although this shoe releases just about one time a year, they actually make up to about 2 million pairs of an Air Jordan 11 to try to get them out to as many people as possible. Now, because the demand is so high, I feel like in recent years, that's why they started pushing the Air Jordan 11 lows more throughout the year. Because unfortunately, people were getting killed, robbed, trampled, injured during these releases. As you can see on the screen right here, it was just insanity. Now, things have gotten better since then, but there's still a lot of craze for the Air Jordan 11s. And like I said with the Chuck Taylor, this shoe is just really easy on the eyes. It's a simple yet beautiful design that just makes them incredibly wearable. Now, the retail price is up there. It's pretty expensive. Regular retail for a men's pair is typically $225. But for the Air Jordan 11 Low, it's a little bit cheaper. I think they go for about $180. Same with the 11 Low IE. Now, both of these options right here are more accessible for the fact that a lot of people like the highs more than the lows. And once again, depending on your personal style, this sneaker looks great with anything.
But it does not matter about those. It matters about these right here.
Next up is arguably the most iconic sneaker in existence, the Air Force One. Now, we all know that there are a ton of different options when it comes to the Air Force One. You got the lows, the highs, the mids. Honestly, I'm not even going to name all the other ones because there's about 200 or something different variations of the Air Force. So let's just keep it at those 3 for now. The Air Force One was designed by Bruce Kilgore and they released back in 1982. I wouldn't be surprised if there are over 1 billion colorways of Air Force Ones, for the simple fact that it's a very simple shoe, a simple design, and the structure is absolutely amazing. Now, although these and Chuck Taylors may not be the most comfortable sneakers on this list, they are easily the most universally known sneakers. Once again, for how wearable, accessible, and affordable they are. Nowadays, Air Force Ones cost about $110, but if you are looking for a more premium and more comfortable Air Force One, then those do cost about $150. I honestly don't even know what to say about the Air Force One. It's like we all know about it. That's why I feel like this is the most iconic sneaker. I feel like there's nothing for me to say that you don't already know. There are billions of options to choose from when it comes to the Air Force One, whether you want a low, a mid, or a high. The colorways are just endless. And yeah, for the next shoe I want to talk about for a little bit, we got the old school Vans. Now, I feel like some of y'all probably saw this coming a mile away, but of course I had to include the Vans on here. Anytime I leave the house, I see this sneaker. I'm not even joking. No matter where I go, I see the old school Vans on feet. And by the way, that side stripe logo on the Vans that everybody knows originally started on this sneaker right here. And for anybody that wants to know how old this sneaker is, they came out back in 1977. But as a lot of us know, skating and streetwear are so intertwined that they just became a staple streetwear item as well. And yet again, what does it have? A very simple design that is easy on the eyes, that you can wear in any situation and it'll look good. Now, one of my goals for content this year is to be a little bit more engaging. So I went ahead to my Instagram and I had asked, what is a timeless sneaker to you? I want to give a big thank you to everybody that actually participated. And yeah, let's go over these answers. We got Bordeaux 7s and Space Jam 11s. I'll agree with the 7s. That's personally my style right there. But as we see, 11s. Jordan 4, great option to go with. That's my favorite sneaker of all time. Air Jordan 1s, once again, another sneaker you can wear with literally anything. Nearly all Air Max models for sure. I was waiting for somebody to say this. In my opinion, when it comes to Air Maxes, there's a big four. You got the Air Max 1s, 90s, 97s, and 95s. Converse, Air Force 1s, Adidas Sambas. I'm not too sure about the Sambas, but probably in your area you see them a lot, so I respect that. Timbs and Doc Martens for sure. I highly agree with that. Definitely Converse, Jordan 1s, Air Max 1s, 11s, New Balances. I'm not gonna lie, in my area, I don't see New Balances a lot, but when I do go to different states, I see them a lot. Like the 990 V4s, the 990 V5s, 992s. So yeah, I can definitely agree with the fact that New Balances are up there as a timeless sneaker. And I see a lot of New Balances overseas whenever I'm watching vlogs and whatnot. New Balances for sure are up there. Air Force 1s, Air Max 95s, 90s, Jordan 1 or New Balance 574, Crocs. It's a good one right there. Air Jordan 1s and Air Force 1s, Jordan 1s, Royal Foamposite 1. That's different right there. Adidas Superstar. This is the one that I actually had a lot of confliction with. I know about the whole Run DMC era. Ever since they introduced Ultra Boost and all that other stuff, I have never seen anybody wear a Superstar since then. No doubt though, I can see why they would be considered a timeless sneaker. Thankfully somebody said it, because I probably wasn't going to. And Timberlands for the final answer. Definitely a timeless shoe right there that I personally never see fading away. If there's any shoes that I missed, please let me know what they are down below. Also let me know down in the comments, what is a go-to sneaker for you? Personally, my go-to is an Air Jordan 4. Whenever I feel like I'm struggling with trying to find an outfit, I just pick up an Air Jordan 4 and I'm good to go. Hope you guys all have a great day, stay safe, and see you next time.
One word away from being higher than the admin. Fear no man but God, and that's barely. Loyal to the fame and to the money whom I married. I rap like Bruce Fight, it's hard to compare me. I might be too nice for y'all to act scary. I'm very